23 wins, 18 by KO. The champion, Glenwood, the real beast, Brown. Your officials for this contest, the referee, Mr. John Coyle from Wolverhampton, the timekeeper, Mr. Tom Powell, the judges, Mr. Larry O'Connell from
the world champion in the welterweight division, Simon Brown, holds the crown with the IBF. Martin Breland in the WBA, Marlon Starling in the WBC. Referee John Coyle of Great Britain providing the instructions. Scoring is on the 10-point must system, handled by 3 judges. No standing 8. The bell saves the fighter, but only in the final round. It is 21-year-old Glenwood, the real beast, Brown. He's 23-1, 18 by knockout, out of Plainfield, New Jersey. And the 24-year-old from Uromi, Nigeria, young Dick Tiger, now living in Hollywood, California. How is that for a geographic transition?
Culture shock, to say the least. But he's reverted to Tiger trunks, just as his famous uncle Dick Tiger did. He has the same style, straight ahead. He just doesn't know how to go back.
Tiger's last fight last October, won a 10-round decision over Kenny Lopez. Lost his previous fight by decision. And as Ferdy mentioned a moment ago, out of his last 10 fights, he's won 5 and lost 5, but he has been facing more difficult opposition. Brown's most recent bout, April 13th, first round knockout of Mike English in the first round. His previous bout, he won a 12-round decision over 41-year-old Saul Manby, avenging his loss to Manby about a year ago. That defeat by Manby, his only loss since then. He's won 5 straight.
Nothing new in the opening of this fight. Tiger trying to seek an opening so he can get in. Those little short pumping hands working in close. And of course, it's to Glenwood Brown's advantage to stand out there and pop a hard jab.
This bout is scheduled for 12 rounds. It is labeled as a WBA America's title fight. That is all part of the alphabet situation that pervades boxing. It has very little value except those who belong to the WBA and dispatch such honors upon the fighters. But that is why it is 12 rounds.
They're fragmenting these titles down now to countries. Pretty soon they'll be in states, and pretty soon we'll be fighting for county titles.
Also, the crowd very quiet. They're anticipating the excitement of the Nigel Benn, Michael Watson bout that will take place later on, that will be showing you on Sports World. A British fighter obviously not involved here, so unless there is a tremendous turn in the proceedings, I do not think that we will have much enthusiasm from the crowd.
The British are very, very loud, but only for local. When a British fighter is fighting, they just scream their heads off. It could take some combination of American fighters to make them really yell and holler, and also they're filing in.
They do expect a crowd of close to 7,000 in this giant tent located in suburban London.
So far, no advantage to either fighter. They're both too tight, and oh, nice, good hook by Tiger.
Final seconds, first round. And this is round 2. Young Dick Tiger, wearing appropriately enough the tiger stripes on his trunks, and Glenwood, the real beast, Brown in the red.
You think they had to kill a whole tiger to make that? No, I think not. It's a dyed, not real tiger. Now that he's in Hollywood, he can afford polyester tiger.
Right.
In Africa, you'd have to kill a whole tiger.
Young Dick Tiger, as an amateur fighting in the light welterweight division, reached the quarterfinals of the 1984 Summer Olympics before losing a 3-2 decision, a controversial decision that nearly led to Africa withdrawing from the Olympic boxing competition.
If there is an advantage thus far, it's Tiger's aggressiveness to come forward, and he landed a very strong, good hook at the end of round 1 to just narrowly squeak by that first round. I gave it to Young Dick Tiger, 10-9. Another good right hand, but this one by Brown.
The real beast, Glenwood Brown. Is that an editorial comment concerning John the Beast Mugabe?
I think it's an optimistic prayer. I just hope he gets to be the real beast.
Young Dick Tiger did not have an easy time arriving here in London last Saturday. He spent 40 hours in the air. He had arrived here from Los Angeles but was sent back because of visa problems. Very fine in terms of frequent flyer mileage, but certainly a tough way to get to London.
Is that Visa the credit card or Visa as in Visa?
Ferdy, it's getting worse. Left hook by Brown. Did score.
Brown doing much. Ooh, look at the hook that Tiger just put in. He got Glenwood Brown in a little bit of trouble then. Holding on is Glenwood, the real beast Brown.
Tiger has never been down, and he is a fighter who never goes backward. The one criticism of Tiger has been at times he does not throw enough punches, but he has been throwing here in the second round.
So far, you can't ask for more from young Dick Tiger. He's been making the fight, leading and doing the heavier punching, but Glenwood Brown is starting to find the range with some effective punches.
And we are coming to the close of round 2. We'll be back right after these messages. Can you recall a boxing manager doubling up as a judge? He's also the president of the WBA Americas. I would think opens up all kinds of conflict of interest questions.
As well as being the supervisor of this. So he is actually here as the president, as a supervisor, and as a judge. So I know I've known Marty Cohen for many years. I know him to be an honest man, but it certainly puts a strange smell on the proceedings.
Marty Cohen out of Miami. You saw the referee John Coyle right at the start talk to both fighters. Not pleased about the extracurricular activity at the end of the previous round.
As so often happens, they started to really fight when the bell sounded.
Both fighters did accept Marty Cohen as one of the judges. We asked why was he thrust into that role, and the word was that they could not find, that's hard to believe, they could not find another judge for this bout.
And English boxing people said rubbish. There's plenty of judges around, of course. It's just one of those unexplainable things. Why would anybody want to put himself in a position in case there is a close decision? I don't know. But anyway, up in the ring, they hope to solve this without a decision and by knockout. So let's go back to the action.
One other element here, though, Madison Square Garden, the promoter of Glenwood Brown, represented by Bob Goodman, and we asked Bob, why is Marty Cohen here as a judge? He said, as mentioned ago, that they could a moment ago, they could not find a third judge, and that both parties accepted Cohen. Also, Tiger's manager trainer Bill Slayton also trains Michael Dokes, who is managed by Cohen, if you can follow all this. So maybe it evens out.
And on and on. In the meantime, Glenwood Brown has found his target with hooks, and he's making Dick Tiger miss badly. So this is the first round that he's really started to take the round early. He seems to have found himself after a poor, slow start. He's making Dick Tiger miss an awful lot. Tiger taking really silly shots.
Brown does have a strong left hook. We did see it in the first round. He was strictly straight ahead pressure type boxer, but Edwin Welterweight is now in his corner after he took over. He changed Brown's style, so he's been showing better boxing skills and more lateral movement.
And a great hook. I mean, he has developed that hook so that he's putting it with great authority. And I think he's doing damage on Tiger. Certainly not as frisky as he was at the beginning.
This is scheduled for 12. A matchup of welterweights. And that is the end of round 3.
Look at Frank's yard.
On to round 4. Marv Albert with the fight doctor, Ferdy Pacheco from London, England.
Big Tiger starting right in with a heavy body attack. There's a big blob of Vaseline on the left brow of Glenwood Brown. I'm surprised that the referee let that continue. There's a huge blob there. It'll be rubbed off in a minute. But it just means that that cut that he thought might be a problem is starting to be a problem. Previous cut that may not have healed as satisfactorily as they like. Look at the way he's protecting it with his left hand high.
This is a very small ring.
18 feet by 18 feet, and you're exactly right. They can't get much smaller, can it? That means it's great for 2 punches and great for, at this point, both these fellows don't have to do too much running around. They can just stand there and punch. They're just trading hooks here. They're in too close for them to do much damage with that hook, but they're trading it. Nice uppercut by Brown.
Glenwood Brown in the red, and young Dick Tiger in the Tiger-style trunks. He is the nephew of the one-time champion, Dick Tiger, born as Charles Nwokolo. He took his uncle's fighting name, legally changing his name. 24 years old, from Nigeria, and now living in Hollywood, California.
He certainly looks like Tiger, the young Dick Tiger. The young Dick Tiger looks like the young Dick Tiger.
Very nice,
I'm trying to say.
Yes. We're with you. Just keep explaining.
Whatever their facial resemblance is, there's a world of difference in talent. Dick Tiger, the middleweight champion, was truly a great fighter.
Went with the real beast Brown. Like Tiger, had an outstanding amateur career, winning 82 of 93, 50 by knockout. He was a New Jersey and New York Golden Gloves champion. Turned professional in June of 86.
Glenwood Brown much busier than Dick Tiger. Tiger trained, he's getting hit more than he's hitting. That's the summation of that.
Coming up on 10 seconds remaining. And the 4th round. We'll be back in a moment.
From rocking now.
And this is round 5. Glenwood, the real beast Brown in the red trunks. 23-1, 18 by knockout out of Plainfield, New Jersey, going up against young Dick Tiger, 24-year-old, record of 26-6, 17 by the knockout route. And coming up later on Sports World, it'll be the British Commonwealth middleweight champion Nigel Benn going against top contender Michael Watson. Nigel Benn, a great fan of the boxing style of Mike Tyson, says he's the middleweight version of Mike Tyson, and he is 22-0, all 22 by knockout. Greatly anticipated bout here in Great Britain. That'll be later on Sports World.
Right now, this fight at the end of 4 is even unofficially, of course, but Tiger seems to have come out with a renewed charge and has been pummeling young Glenwood Brown without any punishment back.
Well, Glenwood Brown has made his way past the 4th round. He has been a knockout puncher. 18 KOs in 24 fights.
Well, he's landed some very good shots here, Marvin. It doesn't seem to have moved Dick Tiger at all.
And this crowd continues its quiet ways. That will not be the case later on when Nigel Benn steps into the ring to go against Michael Watson. I would have to say only passing interest in this bout for those who are on hand here in London.
But there was a roar a moment ago, and it wasn't for the fighters. Frank Bruno, the genial English heavyweight that had a respectable fight against Tyson, came in and got a big roar.
Not much happening here in this 5th round.
Right now, neither man showing great class.
Good combination by Tiger as we come to the end of round 5.
Budweiser and Bud Light
here in the giant tent as he is taking in Glenwood the Real Beast Brown and young Dick Tiger. It is on to round 6. Brown in the red and Tiger in the tiger stripe trunks.
Tiger beginning to score more and more in the 5th round. He took it with a good sustained attack. He's open so far the early part of this round with the same type of attack. The fighter go past where he usually knocks people out, and then he's sort of befuddled, like, what? You mean there's more? I got to keep going. Glenwood Brown trying now to give some motion, trying to box, relentlessly pressing on Dick Tiger, the only way he knows how to fight, straight ahead. Little nose, a little blood coming from, not a little bit of blood coming from the nose of Glenwood Brown. He's also got a very tender eye. It's starting to swell up. They put a lot of Vaseline on there. He's been cut twice in that area before, but he won both fights. So now he's got 2 problems going. When we speak of protected fighters, we mean fighters whose management has been very careful in picking opponents so that they build a big record, but they really don't learn anything. They don't advance their skills. They just build up these big records and earn television dates.
On the other hand, in a case such as young Dick Tiger, who has not ducked the top opposition, wonder about the management philosophy there. Perhaps he's fighting people in that level too quickly.
Yeah, that's called hunger management.
Yes.
You got to pay the rent, and you put them in with whoever will go in with them. And that's, if you survive that, you become a great champion. If you don't survive it, you just become an opponent. And right now, he is on the cusp of being an opponent.
Well, 32 professional fights, 26-6. Tiger began his professional career in February of '84 in Nigeria with a 4th round knockout. His first 14 fights took place in Nigeria, but for the most part, he now has been fighting out of the United States since making the move to California.
Well, in Lagos, there isn't too much opposition that you can get in there, so he built up a big record himself. When he got to the States, he got to the real deal, and all of a sudden his record suffered. Right now, he's leading this round again, and here is Glenwood Brown on a bicycle. Look, I mean, Burrett was a very fine fighter, and he's trained him to box, but this is more running than boxing.
And we have come to the close of the 6th round. To set up the tent at a cost of $75,000. And this is round 7.
And there is a worried look on the face of Glenwood Brown. That last round was spent running with Tiger in pursuit. Now some serious hand-to-hand action there. They were trading heavy hooks and uppercuts. Fight that would be in the favor of Dick Tiger. Heavily muscled, well proportioned, used to being in close and mauling and pushing. Not the fight that I'm sure Verrett wants Glenwood Brown to fight.
Oh, left hook though by Brown, and that sent Tiger stumbling for just a moment.
It looked like he caught him just off balance, and it certainly hurt him.
Now Brown doubling up on the right hand. He did get a left hook in early, but we have not seen much effectiveness from what he calls his best punch.
Well, certainly Brown is trying extremely hard this time. These are the hard punches that he's been saving up for while he's doing all that running around. Good straight right hand, and didn't move Dick Tiger. Imagine that's a little discouraging. A wind up from left field right hand, and it did nothing to Dick Tiger. There's that right hand again. Did not land this time, but no question about it. Glenwood is putting on the hardest punches of the fight so far, without visible effect except for that small little crumble in the middle. But he is winning this round because of his heavy punching attack.
This is round 7, scheduled for 12. No knockdowns to this point. And this by far the best round for Glenwood. The real beast Brown, who to this point has not been living up to that nickname.
He certainly hasn't been working the body. It's all been head hunting, especially this round. And I don't know whether that's going to be enough to beat Dick Tiger.
Final seconds of the 7th.
This is the kind of strong punching you get from Dick Tiger, right on the button. But Brown comes back and lands an effective punch which almost caved in and finished young Dick Tiger.
And this is round 8. Scoring is on the 10-point must system. What does the Fight Doctor scorecard tell us?
I have young Dick Tiger by a whisker, 67 to 66. They have been trading rounds. That last round I had to give to Glenwood Brown. His attack was strong. He was putting in very hard punches and landing a healthy percentage of them. But the Tiger trademark is to come back to the attack immediately, never step back.
For those of you who may have just joined us, young Dick Tiger is the nephew of the one-time champion Dick Tiger, born as Charles Nwokolo, took his uncle's fighting name, legally changing his name, and he is going against Glenwood Brown in the red trunks. Brown out of Plainfield, New Jersey, a record of 23-1, 18 by knockout. Tiger, the more experienced of the two, 26-6. And the referee John Coyle tells Tiger none of that as he spun Brown around. Earlier in the fight, we had some late hits after the bell had sounded. And referee Coyle went to both corners to talk to the fighters about it.
It's been a remarkably clean bout. You haven't seen any rough stuff. You don't see any elbows. There have been very little hitting of heads. It's just been swapping of punches, only neither man seems to have an effective enough punch to hurt the other. We'll see what the effect of the length of this bout has on Glenwood Brown. He's used to being in the showers by this time, and he's still out here, and Big Tiger is still fighting just as hard as he did the first round.
In fact, Brown's most recent fight, April 13th, first round knockout, a quickie of Mike English. However, his previous fight, 12-round decision, a victory over the 41-year-old Saul Manby to avenge an earlier loss to Manby.
That earlier loss cast grave shadows over his future, because I figured if you couldn't beat a guy that was 40 years old or 41 at that time, depending on who you listen to, then you weren't that much prospect. But of course, he came back and won. Neither man seems to be interested in punching the body, although Dick Tiger is much, much more active to the body than is Glenwood Brown. Bill Sladen giving instructions after smearing the left side of the face of Moita with Vaseline. He also is lumping up. He has a big scar in the eyebrow, although he has not had much problems with cuts. Not as much as Glenwood Brown.
And this is round 9. It has not been one of the thrillers of the year. Young Dick Tiger, Glenwood, the real Beast Brown. It's scheduled for 12. Referee is John Coyle of Great Britain.
Big Tiger seems to start these rounds much faster than Glenwood Brown, and consequently he may get the edge in scoring there. I have a very narrow margin, 77 to 75, for young Dick Tiger, who seems to be more active and busier.
Tiger usually looks to open up with the strong shots to the body.
Well, if you're idling away time watching this, try to count the number of body punches that Glenwood Brown throws in a round or two. You won't be surprised to come up with a figure 0.
And we are midway through round number 9. Later on Sports World, it will be knockout artist Nigel Benn, 22-0, all 22 by knockout, defending his British Commonwealth middleweight title, going up against top contender Michael Watson. Watson in the worldwide rankings, ranked number 5 by the WBC, actually ahead of Ben, although Ben has the British title.
That's kind of the same type of fight, theoretically, that you see here. A guy with a lot of experience and a protected fighter. So that's going to be more of the same, only they have explosive force. And that could be a knockout early, or it could go on like this with the experienced fighter using his experience to survive.
Brown getting that combination in.
Brown has done much better this round. And they just stay close to each other, seeming to trade punches. This one, Dick Tiger has seemed more tired and weary. For the first time, weariness is shown in his punches and in his face.
And they finish with a good flurry. This the best action round of the bout, which may tell you that not much has been taking place. We'll be right back.
Some feverish work in the corner by Al Galvin in Glenwood Brown's corner, indicating that cut is becoming a little bit angrier, and the possibility of it splitting open and becoming a factor in this fight is growing every round. And that, of course, the result of the strong hooks that Dick Tiger has been putting in to the brow of Glenwood Brown.
We have been told that Glenwood Brown is ahead on 2 of the cards.
I wonder how we found that out.
We have our guys lurking
Is Cohen nodding with his head or something?
Artie Cohen is one of the judges. He is out of Miami along with Larry O'Connell and Dave Parrish of Great Britain. Has Brown's punching power disappointed you?
Yes, and I thought he could punch much better. He's landed some great shots as far as hooks and straight right hands and just hasn't moved Dick Tiger. Unquestionably, a lot of that has to do with that iron jaw that young Dick Tiger has, but still, not the zip and not the way to place the punches that makes him a knockout puncher yet. Maybe he's got a lot to learn. I think that the fight is very close, and I have Dick Tiger ahead by 1 point. And when a fight is that close, it just depends on who you're related to.
Now it all comes out. This is round 10. It's scheduled for 12. Glenwood Brown in the red, and young Dick Tiger in the Tiger stripes. Tiger's last fight last October, he won a 10-round decision over Kenny Lopez, lost his previous bout by decision. Well, Brown comes off a first-round knockout.
Oh, those right hands, 3 straight hard rights to the jaw of young Dick Tiger, and I think he felt those. Those were solid punches by Glenwood Brown.
Bolo punch being attempted now by Tiger.
A nifty little uppercut there. Didn't do any damage, but boy, what a good idea that was.
Brown tried to double up on the left hook, but did not make much contact. That left hook did get in. And we wind down in round 10.
Jay, today.
Continued work. You see how they're frantically working over there. I don't see that as being that bad a cut. They've been pinching it and putting in a coagulant there, but I don't see it that bad. I mean, it's just does. I guess they're trying to be cautious. Just doesn't look that bad. I gave the last round to Glenwood Brown, now making it an even fight, 95-95. He seems to be stronger, seems to be coming on. And when you look at these two guys, one looks like a young man, one looks like an old veteran, but they're not. They're only 3 years difference in age. In case you're in doubt, Tiger looks like an old man, and Glenwood Brown looks like a very young man.
Tiger is 24 years old. 24 according to the fight doctor, and Brown is 21. Actually, he'll turn 22 in July.
Well, living in Hollywood will age you very fast.
This is round 11. It is scheduled for 12.
Well, Glenwood Brown must be getting the same messages we're getting, because he is not fighting with a lot of brio. He's fighting cautiously, like a man who knows he's ahead, and he can cruise a little bit, box, like Viret told him to do.
Yes, Brown's trainer, Edwin Verriouet, he was a top-ranked lightweight. In fact, lost a couple of grueling fights to Roberto Duran.
He certainly did. He was a good contender. And stayed there many years because of his fine boxing skill, and he's trying to impart that to this young man. Has certainly changed him for the better. I mean, the improvement is a great deal that you can see. He knows how to box now.
Just past the midway point of the 11th round.
When he's outside and can get leverage, Glenwood Brown lands a wonderful right hand. That overhand right you just saw just then. But then he gets inside where the punches are neutralized by the distance. He's not getting that leverage that he can get from the outside. Both men hook an awful lot.
Tiger continues to go to the body, but he got caught. The left hook set up the right hand.
He's in trouble. That really caught him, and he's trying to hold on. He's just trying to grab and hold. Look at that. The referee is like a piece of furniture there. They're trying to get taken apart.
A piece of furniture?
Well, I saw 4 legs.
Freddie, I think a few days in the countryside here in London will help.
This fight's enough of a rest for me.
But Brown did hurt Tiger just a moment ago. Looks like Tiger is all right as we come up on 10 seconds left in this 11th round.
But it did win the round very big for Glenwood Brown. Those are the best punches that he's landed.
We'll be back with the final round in a moment.
Look at Frank's yard. I don't have a yard like that. Look at that John Deere tractor. I don't need a tractor like that.
The work continuing in the corner. That punch was a very effective punch. And we can see that. Watch the right hand. There it is. And that absolutely did a lot of damage to Dick Tiger. For the first time in a fight, he was truly in trouble.
And we are headed now to the 12th and final round. Young Dick Tiger has gone 12 rounds 5 times, winning 3, losing 2. And Glenwood Brown went the 12-round route only once. His return match against Saul Namby, a bout that he won.
Dick Tiger must have been given the telegram in the corner. You are losing this fight, because he's got to come out and win this round. I have Glenwood Brown unofficially ahead 105 to 104. That certainly was no question about that last round.
Glenwood Brown effectively setting up Tiger with a left hook and then able to connect with the right hand. Brown in the red trunks, 21 years old, record of 23-1, 18 by knockout. Although we have not seen that power here this evening. And young Dick Tiger at 26-6. And it looks like Brown has taken things over here in the final round.
As long as he stays outside and throws that wonderful right hand, the one that he just about put away Dick Tiger, he lands it. And when he does, you can see Dick Tiger blink. I think this was very good education and testing of Glenwood Brown. And I think kind of fight like this teaches you that there are nights that you got to go the whole way, and you better train very hard for those nights, because once you get in the top competition, the knockouts don't come so easy.
Tiger keeps checking with his corner as he's taken to the ropes by Brown.
I think he knows he's blown this fight. There's nothing he can do to knock out Glenwood Brown. He's taking his best punch. Brown ahead. Unofficially, of course. Barely by 1 point on my card, but I think he's winning this round, and I think Tiger's looking his corner in desperation for some kind of an answer, and you can't find it in the corner. Referee John Coyle has certainly controlled his fight exceedingly well. There's been no rough stuff, no dirty stuff. Very slight cut by Glenwood Brown. Excellently controlled in the corner by Al Galvin. And it's been a punch-out in the last couple of rounds, and neither man able to render the other unconscious.
And we will have more boxing on Sports World with Nigel Benn, 22-0, all 22 by knockout, defending his British Commonwealth middleweight title against Michael Watson. And I would think we will see a bit more action than we saw here on ringside. This one is over. They go to distance. We'll be back with the decision after these messages. The distance, going the 12 rounds with young Dick Tiger and the Fight Doctor scorecard had it 115-113 in favor of Brown. There is got a glimpse of Marty Cohn, the 91-year-old, who is one of the judges in a curious development here. He is also the president of the WBA Americas and also is the manager of Michael Dokes, one-time manager of Hector Camacho. And Cohn judging along with Larry O'Connell and Dave Parrish of England, scoring on the 10-point must system. And it appears they are just about ready to make the announcement. The only problem is the public address man, Mike Goodall, can't hear himself. Trying to get the music turned down.
The result. Judge Terry O'Connell scores 118-113 Brown. Judge Dave Paris scores 117-112 Brown. Judge Marty Cohen scores 118-112 Brown. The undefeated welterweight champion of Americas.
So Glenwood, the real beast, Brown by decision. Although he is not undefeated, he has a record of 24-1. That one loss at the hands of Saul Mamby. So that wraps up our ring.